Hello, it's Walter, and today we're going to take a look at an exercise a lot of people are familiar with but may dismiss, and that's the jump rope. Skipping rope or jumping rope is an awesome exercise for a lot of different reasons. Some people might look at it as just a kid's toy, but it's really not. You look at some of the best trained athletes in the world, and you'll find that they do use a jump rope. It's great for interval type training. It's a great tool to plug in between various sets of strength training exercises. It's portable. You can take it anywhere with you very easily. You can use it inside when it's too nasty outside to be training, and you can get some good cardio in. It's a form of plyometric exercise, but it's low impact compared to running. Even if you're skipping on one foot back and forth, it's nice because you're not having as far of a movement as you do when you're running. The other thing is Greg Cook refers to it as a self-limiting exercise, and in one of his publications he actually mentions it, and I'll provide a link in the article to that book and that page, where he talks about all the various benefits of using a jump rope. A jump rope helps us to stabilize our posture. When you're skipping rope, you are engaging your hip flexors and your abdominal, your dorsal region, your midsection, whatever you want to call it. All those muscles come into play to create rigidity in this central part of your body. Your arms are actually externally rotated, and as you're moving your arms around to skip the rope, you're getting a little bit of movement in your shoulders, your rotator cuffs, and that can really help a person who has shoulder issues too. It's a great movement for a warm-up. Just doing 5 minutes it can prepare you for more explosive work to follow, like maybe wind sprints or jumping or even kettlebell swings or other forms of ballistic exercises. It's really good for the feet. It builds elasticity and resilience in your feet and the tissues there and your calf muscles. And it can actually be used to help train a person to start running, so they can engage in a rope jumping program and gradually build up the amount that their calves and their feet can handle with that. Then as they transition from that into more running and sprinting, their feet are going to be in better condition than if they just start running to begin with. The other thing is it helps stabilize hips. My wife and I have seen people running down the street before, and this can happen to women, but I've seen men do this where their hips are just tipping back and forth so much. It's like they have a universal swivel or something where their hips connect to their spine, and their hips will just drop and swing back and forth so bad. And you'll see that a lot of times when guys are engaged in what's called speed walking, which isn't that great for the hips. These people are going to have hip issues later on, and probably also knee issues and other issues. So jumping rope or skipping rope can help you learn to stabilize your hip, because when you're walking, when you're running, you want your hip to stay stable. You don't want it flopping back and forth like this. So it actually can help teach and reinforce the proper motion in your hip for running or sprinting. So it has a lot of benefits. It's got great benefits in burning calories. It's something that's easy to do. There's a lot of videos out there, instruction on how to skip rope. If you're not sure, one of the issues a lot of people have is their jump rope is just way too long, and it makes it way more difficult to learn the motor pattern that you're trying to learn. So I have a video out there, and I'll provide a link for that below, and also in the description box, and then also on my website, abilitytoadapt.com. I'll provide a link for that video there too, so you can check that out, because if your jump rope is too long or too short, it's just going to make things way more difficult for you to learn how to skip rope. For beginners, I just start off easy, just a couple minutes, and work up to like 5 minutes. In that 5-minute time period, you might not be skipping rope the full 5 minutes. It might be, 10 or 15 seconds of skipping rope. You goof up, you take a breather. Gradually, you want to work up till you can skip rope or jump rope for several minutes in a row, or 5 minutes. And then if you want, you can take it further to 10 or 15 minutes. But going much past that, I don't really see a huge benefit of it. I would rather see a person use it as a warm-up, maybe a finisher, maybe interspersing it with other types of training, like maybe the prowler, using a sled, or even strength work, like doing deadlifts or squats or something, and then incorporating some, 30 seconds of skipping rope in between that. It develops explosiveness, it develops agility, it involves more cognitive function of the body and the brain than doing something like a stationary bike or a treadmill or even a rowing machine. You sit on a seat and you're just rowing back and forth, and it's a machine that tracks your movement. Not a lot of opportunity for variation there. Whereas in skipping a rope, there's just so much that's going on. You got to coordinate your hands, your arms, you got to coordinate your feet, especially when you start doing like double unders where the rope goes twice around your body for one hop, or when you start doing different skipping patterns, alternating your feet. And you can develop different patterns. So there's actually timing and coordination going on there, there's agility going on, there's balance, and then you've got a strategy, you might say, of you're doing this and you're going to change it up. Unlike a bicycling on a stationary bike, or using an elliptical trainer or a treadmill or a rowing machine, what's your variety? It's basically speeding up or slowing down. That's it. You can't really do anything else for variety wise. Where the rope, you can actually squat down, and you can do lateral skipping at a diagonal, and you can do all these fancy moves. Just Google it and start looking at it on YouTube and see all the different things you can do with skipping rope. So it opens up a world of possibilities, and it can make a person a better athlete. It develops athleticism way better than a stationary bike or rowing machine in that sense, and improving your ability to learn motor patterns. So stationary cycle, your feet are just going like that. Elliptical, rowing machine back and forth. But it's involving more of your body in a sense, and more of your brain. So it can really stimulate you. And it's a good thing that you can incorporate in strength training, like do some bench presses, do some skipping rope, go back and forth, or with squats or with deadlifts. Experiment with it in different ways. So the suggestion is to start off easy if you're not used to it, and get your body conditioned to it. Let your body adapt to what you're trying to do, and if you give your body that opportunity, it will adapt, and you'll get better at that skill. Once you get to a point, if you want to start doing crossovers and all types of fancy maneuvers like boxers do, and they have all types of different rope skipping contests nowadays, and it's becoming more popular. But don't forget it, just don't think of it as a children's tool. It's an awesome tool. It takes up no space. You can throw it into a bag, a pack, you can take it anywhere. You can get a great little workout with it, coupled with like body weight exercises. So I encourage you to explore the realm of possibilities with skipping rope. And there's all different types of rope. There's leather, these plastic ones. You can get weighted ropes. You can get plastic covered wire ropes, speed ropes, with nice bearings. Keep them lubed up, just a couple drops of oil occasionally, and they'll work a lot smoother, a lot faster. But in a pinch, you could use just a regular piece of rope in order to skip rope if you wanted. So look into it, test it out, take your time, build up to it, and then what I would suggest is you'll get to a point where you might, for several months as you're building into it, you might get to a point, I don't know, it might be 2, 3, 4 months or something, get into it, and you'll start developing a lot more skill, and then it'll be easier for you to plug it in different areas and be able to put more variety into what you're doing. And instead of just doing a simple double hop like I was doing, or even alternating your feet, you'll develop all these other skills in time. My suggestion, I'm wearing Vibram 5 fingers. Initially, you might want something with a little bit more cushioning, but eventually I would get away from the thick cross trainer shoes, and I'd wear something like Converse or Chuck Taylor's, Vibram 5 fingers. You can even go barefoot, but if you whack your toes, it's going to hurt. So something to be aware of. And usually that's because the person's rope is too long and it hits the ground in front of them, and then it bounces into their feet or their shins or their toes. You want to use a surface that's got a little bit of give to it. Doing it on asphalt isn't the best thing, or concrete. If you do it that way, and you can, if you got a piece of carpet, you know, even if it's shag carpet, you can flip it upside down so the rope doesn't catch on the shag. Just like a 5 foot or 4 foot by 4 foot piece will work, or a rubber mat. Pretty much anything like that, and you can keep that in the back of your trunk if you wanted, so you can skip rope almost anywhere. So just some thoughts on the rope. Don't forget it, use it, and you too can reap the benefits of skipping rope. So this is Walter. Hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'm working on some other videos that are going to be going on my paid subscription site, and that's coming up pretty quick. So as soon as I get that going, even if I get a couple videos on there, I'm going to let you know. I was trying to film some in the mountains a couple days ago, and it was terribly windy, and I had a few issues with that, but I'm working on it, so stay tuned for that also. So have an awesome week, and I'll see you next Wednesday.